Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Weekly WAYPN. I'm Cal.
I'm Sunny.
Well, I'm glad to have you all here. Some of you. Any of you.
Well,
Alright, so we're going to be starting off with James, aren't we?
yes, we're starting with James.
Okay, great. Alright, let us begin.
These miniatures are from one of the many Marvel Zombies board game expansions. I tried to keep the costumes from the comics.
It seems like we've got a lot to get through this week.
Yeah, we do.
Well, what do you think of them?
I have no idea which character this green guy.
That's the Scorpion. That's
Scorpion.
the original Scorpion.
I really like what he's done with the Scorpion and the two other characters that look like a crocodile and some other guy with feathers.
Yeah, that's the Vulture.
The Vulture.
That's the original Vulture, yep.
Yeah, these three were done superb, I will say. The Scorpion really looks like he came right out of the comic book with the color choice and the way that it's lit. I think it just looks like the comic book. And there's nice level of depth with the crocodile and the Vulture guy. I do think there needs to still be a little bit more work on the Green Goblin, though. Maybe like a bit more depth.
Yeah, I can see why you're saying that, because currently, like, it doesn't feel like he's fully shaded. He is shaded, but not fully shaded.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying, but also I think that he could really push the plumes of smoke all the way up to a white.
Or like he could even do some orange in yellow transitions to show like the fire.
Yeah.
And then fade out to that.
Well,
that
see, I didn't
white.
so much think that, but this seems to be like the zombie Vulture.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
there's a lot of gore and ichor there. You know, I think that's good. I think that this is the zombie lizard, but it does seem very 40k-ish with all of the skulls.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
But,
I will say yeah.
But I think that it's good. I like the actual Vulture on the Vulture miniature. I think that that's coming up well.
I think for tabletop, which is what he's going for, he's really hit it on the nail. It's come through. Everything's readable. Everything is there's good readability with the contrast, and I think he's done a good job there.
Yeah, I also like these two here, which is the zombie Green Goblin and the zombie Shocker.
Oh, okay.
So, do you remember the Shocker we had? Do you remember the Spider-Man cartoon I showed you?
Yeah, but I don't remember Shocker, I don't think.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, you know what? I think you're right. I don't think he appears in that one. That's the Spectacular Spider-Man that I showed you.
Yeah.
But there's
look at Mr. Octopus.
Yeah, there's the zombie Dr. Octopus. I like how he's covered it in gore with one of the tentacles.
Yeah,
I think that's a very nice touch. But I do think that he should do some a little bit of shading with the red, because I think that would really help it.
He could do a little white dot and then go over with the red contrast to really make it like glow.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you with that.
But yeah,
I think that the flesh has come up well, but I think that the color choice is a little off because the yellow is too close to the green.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe a bit of a purple wash along the boundary of the sleeve and the pustules to
maybe, or just like a dry brush to bring up the white value in them so that they do look like pustules.
Because the recess shading is very strong, so if you do some dry brush, it'll really bring up the contrast even more.
100%. Oh, we got a lot on this week. So
we've got Lance, and tomorrow when I get up, I'll decide if it is done. I will also try for a couple of better pictures, as some things just aren't showing up well. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, it looks good. It looks like one of these creatures from the Dark Crystal. The Dark Crystal is a very old movie now, almost 40 years old now, I think.
Wow, that's old.
And yeah, so I think that it looks pretty good. It looks like what it's meant to, but I do think that those a better shot because at the moment it's competing a lot with the background. I think. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, especially that particular picture. This one
Yeah.
seems very nice and clear. I like the white line.
Yeah, the white lines
the
are great.
dividers are very good. I'm not sure if he's already done any dry brushing on the spiral texture. I think with a little bit of dry brushing, that would really come through even more.
Hey Raven, I hope that you enjoyed our advice about your Duda guys. All right, but I think that's all that we can basically say. I'd really like to see a clean background for it because I think that will really help differentiate it. Because with his coloring, it's very similar to the wood background and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It does fade in a bit.
Yeah.
But I think if he calls that one done, I think there's nothing wrong with that. So I was really impressed with this, but please read out John Ross's.
Yeah. 1:72 Argentine attendard used during Falklands War 1982. I'm thinking of entering it into a competition. I may have gone overboard with the oil washes. I don't
think so.
Good.
I think it looks like a real plane.
Yeah, no.
Like that's what I thought.
Like the kind that comes
Hi,
pre-made.
Nicholas.
Pre-made. It's a Nicholas Pariah.
As opposed to Nicholas
Future.
Former.
No, he is the former, so it's gonna be Nicholas Future. Yes.
But yeah, no, like take a look at like just the landing gears and stuff like that. It is super impressive. You know, I think if you enter it into a competition, I think that you're in with a chance.
Definitely.
It looks very nicely done.
My dad loves planes.
Yes, he does.
He loves planes.
He works with planes, so
yeah. So if he
saw
this, he would be like, "Yes, very good."
Yes, very good.
He doesn't have many things to say when it comes to.
Yes, he's not he's not big with his feedback. But let us move on. Next up, we've got Michael Stoker.
Yeah, bit of progress. Very nice.
So I think that there's been some more depth added to the robe.
The robe, yeah, I can see.
But the staff has been turned to bone now, which has great contrast against the black there. And yeah, it just looks absolutely fantastic. I think that he's like really pushed the contrast on this, and that's really starting to come together.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see him paint in more the details, like this skull on the knee.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And is this done? The skull that's right underneath
I think that's the
halo.
base for it, because I think he's going to be a steel skull. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, but it's very close to being finished. Yeah.
But Michael, your lady friend Mandy wanted to say what a great job you've been doing, but she didn't answer any of our questions.
Yeah, because if you want to comment and you're not a member, you still have to answer the joining questions.
Yeah. And that's sort of a hard rule we've got because otherwise we can get into trouble. So yeah. All right, let us move on.
We've got Rick Parker, and I think he's new.
Yeah, Rick Parker is showing off a bit of an old box that he's got. But yes, please read it out.
I just found a small box of metal figures. Some are stamped to Grenadier 8485. They need a better home.
I see. Well, you can give them a better home if you like. But I'm not sure whether he's just trying to all right. Well, Rick, we do not allow selling here. So let us move on.
Oh, okay.
All right, here are some of the better pictures.
Oh, nice. Lance, and he's, calling it done. This is one of my treasured miniatures, so we'll go into retired status for display only. Yes, I have more of the set.
Nice.
I like the detail on the face.
Yeah, no, it looks very old and wizened.
Like a fossil.
Like a fossil?
A fossil.
Yes. Well, I think it's looking pretty good.
I like the ones that are taken in the natural light, actually.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, let's go over to the natural light. This is actually a pretty good shot right here. Like you get to see a fair bit of it. I think that it could really do from
For
some shading.
That's what
like
I'm
like
thinking.
a contrast or something.
Yeah, a contrast, or it just needs some dry brushing. It really does need a little bit of dry brushing.
I don't think it needs dry brushing, just a little bit of shading, just like a nice light contrast. Nothing heavy. Hey, some dude on YouTube. Just
You're here.
everyone's here. Everyone.
3
Forever.
people.
3 people. Yes, and us. We're people too. We're people. Don't let the internet conspiracies get to you. We are people. We're not an AI made to encourage people to paint.
Okay. Shall we move on?
Yeah. I just think that this would look really good with, like, for example, a snakebite leather over it.
Oh, yeah, I still think it needs a bit of dry brush just to bring out those coils more, I feel.
Yeah, maybe.
Like very light with like
Hello,
a...
Penguin.
Hey,
How are you?
Penguin,
I
you
hope
are
you're having a
here.
great day, mate.
Did we talk about something you posted already?
No, I don't think so.
The airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Ross. Yeah. We said that we thought that your plane has a good chance in the competition. Please enter it.
So next up we have Asti Rose.
All right, and we've got my first ever attempt at these Jaegers. It is correct, right? Jaegers.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to admit I'm quickly falling in love with the little dudes. Oh, I love the contrast of the lines. All the lines have come out nicely.
He really does need to get a photo booth though, but what I really like is I very much like these miniatures. Now, Cassidy just seems to be painting for tabletop from what I can understand. I really like
the blade.
Yeah, because I think he's just put some, I think it's called Briar Frost or something. There's a contrast paint that's a very light blue, and he's just done that from a white, and I think it's come up so well. It looks like a power weapon the way that he's done it.
The pooling is so well controlled.
Yes.
So fantastic job on that.
I also love the textures on this, but I don't think he does the control as much as he could with the textures.
Some dudes say 10 a.m. on a Friday, almost time for the weekend. Penguins say, awesome, thank you for the feedback. Very good, very good.
No, it's genuine feedback. As you know, we're always genuine with our feedback.
We were saying that my dad would approve because he works in aviation.
Yeah. All right, so I think really good. The only thing I think he should do is try and use, for example, like I think it's comes out well with this piece of the armor, but not as much with this area, where he should use different types of paints. For example, the contrast on this looks good against this and against the metal piping, but it doesn't look as good against
the black,
this, because I think the black is just another type of contrast.
Is that a zipper that goes down the middle? Because I see like that sort of
I'm not sure.
Castle rook.
Nicholas says, I like planes and I approve. Reminds me of that what is it? ADSMR? I like trains.
Like
all right.
trains.
So next up we've got Larry Hazaflu.
Ooh, Larry. Am I seeing this right? There's no pictures on my one. My one no picture.
No, you're too far up.
Am I too far up? No, I'm not. Look, it's Cass and then it's Larry. I think my one's doing one of the things that...
So I don't think you're on chronological order anymore.
No, am I not? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. That's the one. Scroll up.
So what is this then?
Scroll up.
Okay. She-Hulk is done. Those lips are as good as they're gonna get. Phrasing. Anyway, I hadn't wanted to use a metallic for the steel showing under the anti-corrosion paint because galvanized steel is pretty flat and matte from the references I've seen, and the metallics I have would be too bright, particularly at that scale. However, I remembered I had some of the old, now discontinued Testa's metallizer paints, and I thought I might have an anodized aluminium that might work in a pinch. I didn't, but I have stainless steel, which is close to correct. So I spun some on over the gray. Makes a little difference if the light's at the right angle, but the photo doesn't really show it. So I finished by adding some mud effects to the rubble pile and some earth pigments
Yeah.
on and
Yeah.
around it, just so it's not grey on
So,
base.
so Larry, this is my bit of advice. So I think the lips have come out, but it's sort of. I think he's fighting the sculpt. I think he's trying real hard. But when it comes to the metals and like galvanized steel being wrong and so on and so on, the whole thing with that is just remember what we said about verisimilitude. You're not trying for reality. You're trying for the feeling of reality.
Yeah.
And I do think you were right. There was a small post that I missed, which was Larry asking if he knows if plastic cement has a shelf life.
Oh yeah, I remember reading about
So
this.
let's throw that to the comments. But as far as I know, this is just as far as I know, it doesn't have a shelf life. But yeah. So, and how long does sprue glue last? As far as I know, so long as you keep the bottle nice and sealed, forever. But let us move on to Derek Wong.
Derek Wong is new as well.
Yep.
Keeping my brush wet by sketching out the start of the 75mm miniature. First time I tried this before.
So what he's saying by sketching out is he's sort of putting all of the values in there before he starts working on it.
So he'll blend it afterwards.
Yeah, so he'll
like
blend.
cell shading. Like cell shade and then blend.
You know how some of the times it's a similar process to that of the way that we zenithal models, but instead he puts in these big blocks as a sort of starting point. So it's very interesting to see this sort of process, because this is why we always focus on talking about your
works in progress.
Yeah, because the whole idea is some people might learn from this, and the thing is with this, that's part of the process. You know,
sprue glue is infinite and undefeatable.
Well, that's one way of putting it. It'll undefeat some details if you're too liberal with it.
Well, I will say, like, looking at it from afar, it reads really well. The contrast.
And see, that's the whole purpose. You sort of get it in there and get it feeling right, and then you start working on refining it. But yeah, all right. Next up, we've got a Joseph Malin.
For a second there, I thought we were going to be talking about Cal Vanoni because of how squish this mini is, and it looks like something Cal would paint. Well, just say 2 sets of Luella, the Raging Storm, and Shield Maidens for God tier. Shields and bases are different between copies. Less than 2 days work to get these done, of course.
But take a look at this. Just guys, focus on this for a second. I am switching between them, and look how close they are. They're just like
They're so identical.
The way that he's done the paint.
The only difference would be the eyes, I would say. Like this eye, I really like this eyes. The other eyes is not bad, but it just, this one fit, like you see, it's just
copy paste
not
almost.
Not as good the other eyes, but this eye.
Yeah, but it's okay. But what I'm saying is just how spot on he is with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really, really good. I really like it, because this shows that you can just machine through some things. See you some dude.
I really love the way he's done the shading on the trims of the shield. It looks like real brass. I don't know what material that is.
I think it looks good.
Yeah.
But let us move on, because I don't think that there's any feedback that we can actually give, because
it's so good already.
We'll see. He's hit what he's trying to do, which is tabletop plus. He says, that's his goal, tabletop plus. All of the basing is fantastic. I love all of the basing. Like, either style looks great. It's just a change in value, basically. Everything is readable. There's nothing where I go, oh, something's hideously wrong. It all just works.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think fantastic.
Oh, the colors are very nicely nice together.
Yep.
Larry is next.
Larry has a flu.
And he say, based on the last video's comments, I put some matte varnish on and called McSpoopy Pants done. Did the photo under regular lighting with a UV flashlight on it, and the pics turned out pretty good.
Yeah, no, I think this is just absolutely spot on. We talked about it before. Just, I think it looked like all of those little fixes that you've done. It's just though it's all of those little bits have been cleaned up, and it's so nice now.
What I really love is the purple shadowing.
Yeah, which is the UV lighting.
Oh, is that
it? Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was painted on.
I think that's well, it is obviously painted on, but I think, excuse me, the UV lighting kicking off it.
Yeah.
So I think that looks really good.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's fantastic.
I think the purple with the green really add to that.
Yeah.
spoopy.
But it does look a little like the poor fella's wet himself. He's like,
yes, we know.
Mommy, I'm very scary, Mommy. Yes, buddy, you're very scary. Yeah. We'll get you to the change room. I don't wanna change.
Okay, honey. Enough role play for one day.
Well, I think like that's what it feels like with him.
Does it? Oh, like that child screaming on the
Oh,
airplane.
let's not talk about the screaming child on the plane.
Tomas is next.
Yep.
It's been a while since I last posted something, so where is my progress on my rat pack? Still, I don't have clear idea for bases. Thankfully, I have another 15 rats to paint until I come up with something. Good mentality.
Well, I think there's a lot of options that you've got. My favorite would just be getting yourself a rolling pin, and
Texture roller, yeah.
Yeah, texture roller, and making some pavement, because they're always coming up from the sewer and such.
Yeah. Cobblestone street or something.
Yeah. And going from there. That's probably where I'd go. I take a look at everything. Oh, look at the scratching on the drum.
Oh, wow.
That looks fantastic.
I wonder if he should do a layer of snakebite leather just over to really tie it in.
You know what? I think he should. I think that will really sort of...
It was such a great scratching.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
I think that'll sort of blend it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But
that's a good idea.
Such a quality work, I think. Like, I love the yellow.
You want to know the worst thing about this? Is in the game, I think these guys are barely any points, so they'll almost automatically just evaporate the moment somebody attacks them.
But Tomas usually likes to put in a lot of effort with his models, so it's just nice to see as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's looking really good. I'm looking forward to seeing them all done up and seeing it completely finished. All right, so... It's
your face. Oh, you clicked on the reach.
I don't know what has happened here.
If you click on this, it'll go to that page.
Okay. Oh, I think maybe I clicked here.
It's your face.
So next up is actually Member Monday. I'll just read that one out quickly. It's Member Monday. # Member Monday. I hope each and every one of you are having a fantastic week. I hope you pass that fantasticness to here. Fantasticness is not being auto-corrected. Today will be a good day. Since it's a good day, we may as well welcome our new members. Make them feel welcome, and as always, we have a question for you. What are you painting now? Make a post about it. That way you'll get more love, and for crying out loud, don't comment.
And that they comment.
Yes, and then they comment. All right, so next up, we've got Nick Allen.
Ooh, it's Ellen.
But I think for some reason, that must have been my one that I clicked on, that started saying it's got the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like if you click on View Insights, that's
I don't know.
it goes.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, that's what happens.
Okay, let's move on to looking at the pretty pictures.
Hey folks, hope you're all well. There's an absolute ton of leather on this model. I love painting it, but it's a struggle to add subtle variety while still preserving the same
Yeah.
basic look to convey that it's all crafted by the same process and probably the same hands.
Well,
Fair enough.
I really like this leather right here with all those little subtle scratches. Look at that. That's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Just that right there. But you know,
the bunny rabbit is my
but
favorite.
one of the other things that I really liked was just seeing the bunny with its white feet.
Yeah.
It's got his socks on and everything.
I like his little bum. It's so cute. Like the shading is very nice.
Yeah, the shading is very nice. So yeah,
beautiful stuff.
Alan is certainly
Allening.
Yes, he's putting all the work in. And it's going to be really great seeing this thing finally done up, because the thing is, people will get the idea finally how much work you put into these things.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people are sort of like, oh, you know. But next up, we have
a drawing. Matthew Jean. Best I'll get, I think.
So I think this is his reference picture.
Yep.
And then here's the model itself. But I really long for, you know, a bit of
Do you see how it gleams off the foot?
Yeah.
Such a sci-fi photography.
Yeah, no, I think it's looking pretty dang good. I like the very drab olive. I think that some scratches would really help with it. I think that the gun looks very plasticky.
I think he hasn't painted it yet.
I'm not sure, but I think one of the things that you really need to do, get yourself a photo booth. I think that will help a lot.
But that gleam is really selling it.
Yes. But when I look at it, I think everything looks quite solid, but I think you could push it a bit. Because like when I take a look at this, right, we see all of those little bits of fuzz around it, right, which might just be the bad replication of the image, or the sort of impression that I get is it's lots of little scratches all over.
No, it's the image.
Oh, all right, fair enough then. So that might be me being wrong. Next up, we have, now as I said,
Hazik Hisham.
Hazik Hisham.
Yeah.
And wow, just wow, look at these guys. So we have another person who is talking about Krogoxors the other day.
Carlos.
Carlos,
I believe
yes.
It's Carlos.
Carlos. It's got to be said like that.
Carlos. What is this? Okay, anyway, commentary on Croxy.
Yes. So first off, I love the basing, right? The basing is out of this freaking world, right? This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about verisimilitude. This does not look realistic at all, right? When you take a look at it with the chaotic mess that it is and everything, right? But it looks fantastic. You get the idea of where these guys are. You get a feel for this place,
it's
right?
So tropical. Everything, the green, the blue, the red.
Yeah.
It's just so vivacious.
And also, the other thing is, you might have noticed that he's done some very thick shading and highlights. So let's take a closer look in, and you'll take a look, guys, and see, look at this, right? Super thick shading and all of that, but
it looks like the patterning that you might get with especially in the face.
But see, when we take it from this distance, right? Absolutely fantastic. Remember, guys, that you're dealing with scale.
Yeah.
Right? So what reads up close very nicely might not read far away that well. You know? And I think that this looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So as far as feedback goes, I would just say giving some depth to the teeth on the weapons. So making it maybe a coat of Skeleton Contrast Horde or some Seraphim Sapia to start giving some shadow to there, and then darkening it towards the center, so that they're not just sort of white.
Actually, in my picture, I can see that little bit of. You see that tan, and then it's the white tips.
So I can see a tiny bit of that. So I'm ultra zoomed in
Yeah,
right now.
I can see a little bit of that.
So you think it might just be
No,
whited
I think
out by the photo?
Yeah, it's the overexposure.
It
there.
is possible. It is possible, but I think like if it's like this one over here where it's quite prominent, I think you want it to be more subtle. But other than that, there's nothing that I would suggest changes with because I really like those stylistic choices.
Is this an aquarium plant? Like, what is he using?
I'm not sure, but
It's really good.
I think it's time for us to move on. Otherwise, we will never get finished because
It's
we
Thomas.
have so much this week.
Mm.
All right. Would you like to read out Tomas's thing?
Little failed experiment. The idea was to make ghosts from Thorns of Briar Queen warband look like made from blue flame. But execution failed miserably. I'll try again, but this time with airbrush. If it'll fail too, I guess I'll have to do it GW style.
So I think blue flame, not so much, but it is a very interesting effect.
Perhaps it's because the brightest part of the flame is at the center rather than at the edges. Maybe if he started with like reverse.
I'm unsure on how to do that. But I think, as far as a failed experiment goes, I don't think it's failed, but what I do think is it's an interesting experiment. We'll see where we'll see where it leads.
He's got the right idea, but I get what he's saying. Yeah, it's the saturated is on the outside and then the white is on the inside.
Yeah.
All right. Bit difficult, yeah, I know.
So, and Talk Tuesday was about is GW heading towards an implosion, and basically we talked about retail space. We talked about quite a few things, and it was very frustrating to see that some people didn't watch through it at all and just made comments.
But that's something that happens.
It does
with our videos.
It does, but see, the thing is, we recommend checking it out and actually watching it, guys. All right, so next up, James has something to say, which is, would you like to read out?
Why does sitting down at my deck with a cup of coffee ready to do some painting fills me with enjoyment?
Yes. Well, next up, we've got James again, and he's working on
Ahsoka. Meet Ahsoka Tano. That's how I say it, right?
Ahsoka Katano?
I don't know. Tano, that's what it says.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well. So how I like to paint minis is either 1, paint them up to be good enough to be personally happy with them, or 2, put my time and effort into them to paint them up to the highest degree I possibly can with my current skill.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ahsoka from the old Star Wars Imperial Assault game that I will be painting to the best quality I can currently do. Always room for improvement. I will be trying to post updates and I will be welcoming feedback and tips so as I go, because Ahsoka is my favorite Star Wars character. So I want to do as close to a perfect job as I can with my current skill level. So he sounds like he's trying to go for character level.
Yeah, so I think well, technically by that description he's going for showcase. But the thing is, if you're doing that, you can't just start off with just a white, because it's not going to give you a good idea of where the values are. Like, I'd even put a wash over this just so that you can see where all of the details are.
Yeah.
And then use that photo as a reference to see where you should put other things. Because currently, you're not going... Like, you might be able to get some more vibrant color out of it, but it's not going to quite show what you want. You might want to avoid the quote-unquote hair that she has. I think they're called Twi'lek. I'm not sure.
Whatever it is, but just remember that when you're doing whites, you want to start with a pale gray.
Yeah.
So an Ulthwain gray will be good.
Yeah, or
yes.
I think even darker than Ulthwain Grey.
No, brushstroke starts with Ulthwain
Yes, but
gray.
his white is very bright.
She got pretty bright white.
All right, so next up we've got...
Oh, Hazik once again.
Yeah.
The first liberator of many. 3D printed salad helmet and Drake shield. Yeah.
So the salad helmet is... So you see how he's got not a Stormcast Eternal helmet?
Yep.
How much better do these models look without the standard Stormcast Eternal head? They just look absolutely freaking fantastic just without the standard Stormcast Eternal helmet. I think that looks really, really good. I like it. And
I like the shield and
yeah, I think that the shield is coming up great. Same with the shoulder pads. I think
shoulder pads and the hip guards have that similar sort of feathering thing going on, and it's very lovely.
I think, absolutely smashing it, mate. Ooh, excuse me. But yeah, like I think that's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to seeing. And also he's done just the tiniest bit of true metallic metal. See how he's got this line going down here and how it's darker along the side?
Yeah.
Just little hints like that. Fantastic, mate. Fantastic.
I feel like painting Age of Sigmar models now.
Well, we've got a lot to paint.
Yeah, Oshiba is next.
Oshiba! Where is our Oshiba? Probably
not here.
asleep or not awake yet.
Yeah. Working on tokens for Cthulhu Death May Die. They need to be in player's color mainly, so I'm a little limited in color choice. I think he's got a great base. It just needs a bit of
it needs some more work, but
like
it's obvious.
wash and some highlight, and he's done.
But we'll see where it goes. This is just the start, so a lot of people just post their starts, so we'll see where it goes. But Oshiba, we're looking forward to it. And who is
it's Carlos.
I tell you what, take a look at that base. That base looks like it's straight out of the frickin' 90s. No, I'm serious. Look at it. It's like
you've got those
goblin green sort of grass, right? And then it's got these very bright tufts. Like it clashes so much with the model. But I'm not sure that that's necessarily a bad thing. Would you like to give some feedback on the model?
I think the color choice is nice. It just needs a bit more depth, especially with the cream underbelly.
Yes.
I think like just a wash to bring out the shadows and the lines a bit more. That'll help it.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I would agree with every little bit of that. I think that it looks fantastic. But it does need that depth, as Sonny says. Like, that's what's missing from this. All right, next
we've got Thomas, and he's tried it again.
Ooh.
And yes, it looks like Blue Flame. 100%. Mate, you've done it. You've done it.
Yeah.
You've done it!
That's very nice.
I can see it glowing already. Beautiful.
Well, I think what will really, really sort of make that work is once he's done up the black, just do
a little bit of OSL.
Yeah.
And the eyes should glow. The eyes.
Yeah.
And then the under the teeth, like the mouth.
Oh
teeth,
yeah, like behind the jaw.
Like there's light coming from in the mouth.
Yeah.
It'll be yes.
Yes.
Spot on, I think.
It is. What a turnaround.
He calls it still far from perfect. I say no, it's done. It's done.
No, I wouldn't call it far from perfect, but I wouldn't call it done. But I think
this is the effect. Like if you
I think the effect is coming off very nicely.
Because if he does any more to this, trust me, it's gonna kill it. So I think just do that. Do it in the eyes, in the mouth, and then do a little bit of OSL on his black cloak.
All right, it's time to move on.
Okay, Navi is back. Well, folks, after painting a couple named characters and some infantry units, I've finally decided what army I'd love to collect. First, it'll be orcs. I got a box of beast snaggers, and boy, were they fun and easy to build, while still having a good amount of surface details and different textures. Here's my finished Mozrog Scragbad. I'm really pleased with how he looks. It's a Mozrog.
It's a what?
That's what it's called. He says it's a Mozrog Scragbad.
But so here, I actually think the way that you've done up, the squigoth thing here, or whatever you call it, squig shark.
Squig shark.
That looks absolutely fantastic. I know what you're trying for with the red here, but I don't think it comes off well. I think if you had painted that up in blood for the blood god, I think that would have looked a lot better. But I honestly think that back here, sorry, is it back there? No, back here. Back here you had a much better painted guy, because that red just draws the eye too much. It makes it the focus far too much, and like the reason I say that, right, is it looks quite cartoonish, and the way that you've done up the rest of it looks quite realistic. The various scratches and all of that sort of thing. The little blemishes and so on. And then there's this, and it's just a complete clash in style. What are your thoughts?
I don't mind it actually, the blood. But maybe yes, maybe if it was the blood for the blood god instead of a red paint.
Yeah.
Perhaps it'll look nice.
That's my thoughts anyway. All right, so next up,
we've got Derek once again.
Derek Wong.
After a reply on
Two
one
Wongs don't make a right. That's Did you know that in Brisbane we used to go to an Asian store called Two Wong Asians?
Oh my god!
It was the best. It was the best Asian food we've ever had down there. Two Wong Asians.
It's not the one that had the ibis chickens. Is it?
No.
Okay.
And you know why they were Two Wong Asians?
Why?
Because the suburb's called Toowong.
Oh!
So they called themselves Two Wong Asians.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. That's very smart. Anyhow, after a reply on one of videos that said should teach someone using only primary colors, I decided to give it a go myself, using only red, yellow, blue, black, and white. This is what I have so far from tonight's start. Browns and flesh tones are hard to get right. It is.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
But that's the challenge. It makes you a much better painter once you can get those down. I used only one technique, layering. As a test run to teach my wife, doing the metals is going to be tough, but that's a problem for tomorrow.
Yep, doing the metals will be tough, but take a look at how clean it's come out thus far.
It's got the Night Lord's color scheme.
It does have the Night Lord.
It's the exact shade of the red and the blue.
Yeah, no. But I think it's looking great. I think that he's put a lot of effort into it. I think that that's absolutely fantastic.
It is.
Like, there's nothing there where I look at this and I go, oh, this needs to be touched up, that needs to be, like, obviously, some of it's not yet finished, but I think with all of it, looking great.
Well, I think he can definitely use a metallic paint for his shield.
He can, but I understand why he's going the way that he is. All right, so let us move on.
Oh, it's Tomas.
Ooh, look at it evolve.
Done as for now.
It's like a Pokemon.
Yes, a Pokemon. Done as for now. Some cleanups are needed, but I'll get to it when the rest of the warband will be done. Yeah, he's tried to do the OSL on the base. I feel like it's not quite bright enough.
Yeah, so I think, unfortunately, you've given it a lot of color, whereas that's not as much what you want to do. You don't want to give it a huge amount of color. You want to make it so that it's a bit more like those areas have been brightened a lot.
So it should be like white. You should have done a white and then after that a blue.
No, so what I'm saying is, for example, let's say you're doing your skulls, all of this sort of thing. You pre-brighten all of those areas and then you do a slight tint of your color.
Ah, yeah.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, shall we move on?
I think so, but it seems like he's done a lot of the things that we talked about
with
doing.
the eyes.
So next up, I do believe this is Hades.
Hades? This is Hades.
I think so.
RJ Warren. Hello, WAYPN family. New here, so gonna take a moment to share some recent works I'd love some feedback on. We'll share more as I finish more. Happy painting. I really love the flame. Flame is wow.
Yes, the flame is indeed wow.
And I love the dual lighting that he's going for. Scraggly man.
But I tell you what, with oh no, here is Hades.
Oh wow, it looks just like from the movie.
Absolutely fantastic.
Oh man.
So I think this is more like he's sort of showing off his showcase of recent things, but the things that impressed me a lot was, like, of course, I also love that he's
using up plastic cups.
Yeah, plastic cups to hold him up. So great OSL. I think the OSLs come through really well on this guy, right? Also, take a look at how it doesn't reach all the way up to his head and such, right? Whereas this one, which is much higher, does reach up to the top of his dome. Just things like that. Very, very, very impressive.
Attention to detail.
And then the next thing is, I really like these guys. So these guys, they're not creature caster. I've forgotten what they're called, but I feel like it's creature something. I've seen them around. They're a 3D print people, and just like, I feel like this is where you could go with Chaos if you were really brave enough. Because you take a look at things like this, right, and it feels so much more visceral.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the Chaos stuff, like, this is more your standard Chaos stuff. Like, ooh, isn't it scary and horrific, and oh no.
Very Kingdom Deathy.
Yeah, it was. But I think that's a lot of great work. But I think we should move on, because we only have so much time in the world. So let us move on. And it's time for you guys to give us a hard time. So, would you like to read out?
Yeah. Hashtag Whip Wednesday. Here are some completed Stargrave models and whips done on our stream on the regular WAYPN channel last night. We're doing it to tabletop level, and the challenge is to only use red, yellow, blue, black, and white, and one black wash to paint these. And we've got these sets in different brands. I used Vallejo, Henry used SMS. If you guys have watched our Joys of Conversion video, you will remember that we got the commenters to write up descriptive stories for these guys, so we are following according to that as well. My favorite is the Lady Medic thus far.
Yeah, well, I think
look at her.
Yeah, she looks great, but I tell you what I think looks really great is your freehand.
Yes, I know.
Your freehand looks amazing.
The swirlies got blended in with the stick.
Bisterium Miniatures, Nicholas Pryor says. Yeah, so that's who did those other ones back there. Yeah.
Cool names.
Yes, thank you, Nicholas. That's great. Would you like to give some criticism for Sunny and I?
Sunny did such a great job. Even me, I want to paint Stargrave models now.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the sculpt. It's so simple. It doesn't make you feel like, like you feel like you want to paint it.
I also like the patterning you did with this guy's head. So the females are meant to be much brighter. With this one.
Yeah.
Right? And the other thing that I also like is with these, I think these are 3D printed heads, but you'd never know. they just fit on so well with the aliens.
We got them
'cause
from the
these
was it War Games Atlantic?
War Games Atlantic,
Yeah.
but these ones, I'm fairly sure, are the alien heads from the actual kit, but the other ones are not.
Turns out I was a few minutes behind. Oh,
You're all
that's
good, Nicholas.
But yeah, please guys, give us some feedback with our painting too,
and let us have it. Let us absolutely have it, because like the thing is, we want to improve as well. So with this, we're doing the 3-color challenge, and I guess I should move on to my one where I read it out.
I like the group shot. They all look so colorful.
Yeah, no, and like that's what I kind of love about it. It feels very sort of Rogue Trader in a way. It's Whip Wednesday! Hashtag Whip Wednesday. WIP is short for Work in Progress. Is what WAYPN is all about. We are what? What? I was on crack.
No, it's all about what we are. What are you painting now?
Okay. Not 2 weeks ago, what am I doing? I can't read it.
I'll read it. WIP, short for Work in Progress, is what WAYPN is all about. We are, what are you painting now? Not 2 weeks ago, not one time you won a big thing. And why? Because it's a hobby and you should try and do a bit of it each week. Why? Because nothing starts finished. Why? Because I want to see your pictures, darn it. So here is what I am painting now. I am painting some of our Stargrave models on stream with Sunny, but she is the one under the camera and I'm the one answering the questions and doing the text, so I'm not quite as fast. We are also doing a challenge. We are using only starter paints, which means the primary color red, yellow, and blue, along with black and white, because we want to put these paints through a proper test, see how each of them work. Sunny has been working with Vallejo and I've been using the SMS paints. I think they have been coming up great. Also, this print is a celebration because I think I tried 8 times with this, but the bit of code has not helped. Yeah. So, with a change of the FEP and a doubling of the exposure time, every single one printed this time. So I literally have 3 times the amount I need. But that's okay. All right, everyone, have a fantastic week. And, of course, keep those brushes wet.
So the SMS paints are so weird. So they're a urethane-based one.
Water urethane.
Yeah, water-based urethane paint. And they're so glossy. But, like, take a look at the miniature, right? And so the blue is...
Oh, Nicholas says, I've seen SMS in the store. Is it?
No,
it's urethane. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, it's almost like dealing with a...
contrast.
Yeah, it's in between a contrast and an ink. Like, the thing is, with these guys, so all of these colors are by this one, right? But take a look at how glossy the blue is.
Apparently, paramedics in South Africa are green.
Oh, interesting.
Because he said the green that you use reminds him of the paramedics in it.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But, like, I take a look at these guys, right, and it's just... Oh, it's so hard to sort of get them popping. But yeah, it was... Just look.
Oh, Nicholas says, I believe they're designed for, like, model car kits.
They are designed for model cars. Like, that's what SMS is meant to be about, model cars, right? But, I mean, why would you have a brush paint for model cars?
Yeah.
Like that.
Maybe is it meant to be put through a airbrush?
Yeah, but see, they've got a whole airbrush range. They got racks and racks and racks of airbrush
they do have a lot of stuff.
And yeah, so it's very odd, the way that they do things.
I'm very sure that they released that to be for mini painting.
Yeah.
But why it's formulated the way that it is?
I think we're the only people who have tried their miniature painting stuff thus far.
Yeah.
Besides themselves,
it's definitely tucked away in a dark corner in the store.
I think the store owner might be a bit upset with that because, like, he's got the other paints. But let's move on. All right, would you be able to read this one out? And we won't go in depth on this one because there's an update on this guy.
New whip, a commission of Chemotef. The Crooked had creative freedom on this one, so I'm going with the bone armor with blue glow. Should turn out great.
Well, we see a big update on this one, and that's why I'm saying let's skip along this one, because I really want to see the update, but it's not for a little while, I believe. Next up, we've got more John Ross.
Nicholas say it's a shame they've not better considering they're an Australian company.
Yeah, they are an Australian company, but to be fair, I've only painted 2 miniatures with them and not under the best conditions.
Yeah, we like the airbrush range, but
yeah, we do like the airbrush range.
But anyhow, Whip Wednesday. I hope to have the truck down before this weekend's game. And he finished his truck on while we were doing stream. I remember.
Oh, did he? So should we move on?
I don't know if he's posted an update, but I remember
Penguin,
he said
tell us if we can move on.
He said he finished his truck, then he left.
I see. Let's see. I just come along here like this.
I lost the decals for my truck. I'll need to have a look through my spares to finish it off. Oh, almost done then.
So almost done. So should we move on or should we give commentary now?
Let's just give some comment.
Yeah, no. I'm just seeing if we see more Truckosaurus. We did not.
Truckosaurus Rex.
All right, so I think that the interior of the tires looks really good, the way that he's made that look. He hasn't done his characteristic weathering yet. I feel like this timber could have a bit more depth to it, like especially on this side where see how it is here.
It's a bit flat, is it? I don't know.
It feels a bit flat. It doesn't feel 100% legit. But the camo seems to be coming through well. The problem I have with historical camos is I'm like, surely not. Surely not somebody paints that and then somebody pulls out a picture and I'm like,
what?
Who?
What?
Why? What? No.
Well, we don't know as much as what went down in the wars.
Yeah, that's true. But like the whole thing with it, you look at it and you're just like, okay, all right, that
makes sense. But I guess if it makes sense to them, it worked out and it worked out.
So like, there's not much that I can say on that front. But other than that, just the timber feels a bit flat, especially on the other side. But yeah, I think that's about all I can say on that one. Let us move on. So next up,
what is this?
Oh yes, Joseph is decided to shame everyone in the group. And he says, you know, I have less than 100 unpainted miniatures.
I do have less than 100. I did not buy more like you, but I have less than 10 unpainted miniatures.
Are you sure about that?
I do.
The Frostgraves is you as well. Frostgrave and Stargrave.
Yes, the Frostgrave and Stargrave. I bought minis, and they're not that many at all. Less than 10 or maybe 10. But yes, they're not a lot. They're not a lot. It's not like you. You've got a whole closet. Okay. I stopped when I saw that the thing was. I can count it myself. I can count it, and I tell people.
Yes, I'm sure she can count. She can count that my ones don't count, but that hers do, or the other way around.
What?
All right. So next up, we've got RJ Warren.
2 active projects.
So
I like
there seems to be another Beastarium one.
Look at this guy. He looks like a Titan, like from Attack on Titan. Like he looks like a Titan.
No, you know what I think he looks like? I think he looks like a potential Slanesh guy. Because like I think that's one of the things that they're missing. You know, when I'm talking about the chaos sort of things, about how they've not got the stuff that they should do. You understand what I'm saying? Like that they should have guys like this where they go into excess in other ways. But you really liked the flooring, didn't you? You said.
I like the stone. The glowing stone. And the flooring is nice as well.
Well, I think the flooring looks really good. I think that that's come up really well. I really liked this macabre stitched leather here on this character. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. I think the skin work looks good on the big guy, but I think it could be improved. Like, it feels like it could be highlighted a lot.
Mm.
Um, but this one, I'm just going to call it whip and not give any commentary on yet because there's not a lot that's changed.
John says, thanks, I'll redo the timber and hopefully the decals for next week's review. I'm currently working on a Greyhound armored car. Is it too late to post for review?
I'm going to say yes because we have gone through so many already and we're at an hour. If we have guests on, we can wake up a lot more, but today has been a bit of a tiring day, unfortunately. So we've got, is this girl painting?
Yes, Alessandra.
So let's take a look at this, and I tell you what, to me, it just looks like a
world eater.
Yeah, but here's one thing that I noticed only once I zoomed in.
Did the eyes.
Yep, she did the eyes inside the mask.
Yeah.
And I think that looks really good, the eyes inside the mask. I do see a rogue cat hair, which I won't blame you for, but I do think that this needs you need to, so you see how it's gone straight to black? That needs to be more like a deep teal, because this is an aqua, that sort of thing, but you can't really change that at this point. I think I like all of the basing. Is there any thoughts that you have that you wanted to add?
I think the white could have used a bit more depth. Like behind the knee pad there's like a good amount, but like it feels too white.
I think one of the reasons why you feel that is because so much of the shading has been killed by the gore. So we can see some subtle shading on the arm guard, but being covered in blood sort of killed all of the depth of that. I really like the way that they've done the blood. So like right here, you see how there's darker splatters.
Yeah.
And then I think that looks really nice. But I do think that you're right that it needs more depth with its white.
But I think at this point it's going to be very difficult to do any more adjustments, so
impossible even. Yeah. So I think you just leave it.
Oshiba did some more thing with his tentacles.
Yes.
Day 3 of working at them minis done, just the base to go.
I see. So just some pinkish purple suckers.
Yeah, orange actually.
Orange, is it?
Yeah, orange. Orange suckers. And I still think he could put a wash over them. I'm not sure if he has or not. But yeah, other than that, I think it's good. It does what it says on the tin.
It does do what it says on the tin. I don't know why, guys, but I am fading fast.
Well, let's just have to go.
Lance has got some more of the dark crystal, guys.
Someone had asked. So, here is what I'm working on now. There is hardly any reference pictures of this specific miniature for color reference. So, it's fantasy, and I'm making it my own color creation, but I welcome ideas. Thoughts?
I think it's looking good.
What is he? I don't know what is this thing.
I think he's meant to be one of the sort of Muppet-like creatures.
Yeah, no.
From the dark crystal. There's like these ones that are like quite withered and leathery, and I think this is how the young and more vibrant, healthy ones are meant to look.
I think it could use a bit of dry brushing to bring out the furry textures, but
it's both some dry brushing and
a wash.
Yeah, both. If you want to do that. But I like the color choices back here, which I find quite interesting.
Yeah. Like black and browns, is it?
But yes, so
I think you might be closing. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's good looking. I think it's coming along. All right. So next up, we've got
James
putting some more work in on Hisoka Katano.
What do we think?
Um,
It's getting there. I think it's got some very clean blocking in here,
yeah, some
and I think we can only truly comment once he has started doing the shading and adding the depth. Because right now I think he's doing a good job of blocking things in. See.
I agree.
Stonewall grey seems like a good grey to use as a base for white.
Yeah, yeah, potentially. We'll see how it goes, but we'll see. We'll see how things move along. I look at this and I just feel like we need some depth to it.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten to that stage yet, so
Yep.
I won't say anything.
All right.
He's commented, so should I redo her and wash her down with a shade and start again or keep going?
You should keep going, but you could put a very thin shade wash on her right now. Give her some depth so that you can start building up from there. Because at the moment it's just so white, and that's why Sunny was talking about the blocking. Because with that, did not open my own one? So here we go. I think that's the one where it was the Facebook Insights.
Yeah.
Alright, but yes, so I'll read this one out. It's Throwback Thursday. Hashtag Throwback Thursday. But this isn't a throwback. We just finished this now. We are about to be off to see the client. Why can I not read my own writing? Let us know what you think. Standard equals character level in brackets rush job. Guys, please let us know what you think. Yeah, so just tell us what you think about these guys, because me and Sunny did these together in quite a very short period of time, because that print did not want to work with us in any way, shape, or form. And I think that these various guys. So this guy's meant to have patchy and scarred skin, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like the weathered skin apparently.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know how to do that, so I just added a bunch of scarring on him and.
Yeah, a few bits of scarring and some pock marks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy, but yeah. Also, I like doing up some of the things, but some of the things were quite frustrating. But we'll see how the client likes them, because that's the big thing. It's about whether the client likes something or not.
Yeah, because when we gave it to him, he had to rush off, so he just grabbed the models and went.
Just left.
So he hasn't actually opened it to tell us what he thinks. But yeah.
Yep. And I really liked doing up this cloak.
Nicholas says it looks great.
Thank you very much. But I also liked doing up the basing for these guys. I think that the basing came up pretty well considering how rushed it was.
This was my first time trying a shaved head, so I think it turned out really good.
I did the steels, and I also liked painting with you in that way that we swapped between each other with each of the models.
Yeah.
And like towards the end, you're just doing a few little extra details on each guy. I spent so long on this guy just to get the metals right, and I don't think I 100% nailed it.
But steel is something you struggle with.
Yeah, steel is not my strongest suit.
I think the armor turned out great, but the sword could have been better. And I still think the sword should have been brighter than the steel used for the armor, because it looks very samey.
But I mean, like, I feel like he's just this very practical knight. He's not very...
Yeah, but it requires a contrast, because that is also a feature, that giant sword.
Yeah, but I did try and do, like, specific true metallic metal on the sword, like here, but I don't think it came through as well. But yeah, we will move on. All right, next up, we have Larry Hasselfleet. He's been absolutely smashing it recently, but I do believe we get an update on this guy. Do we know? No, I felt like we did. Did I miss
No,
something?
that seems to be the last of it.
Perhaps I'm having memory problems. Right,
Mm.
would you like to read out?
Trying to get Black Adam finished. A lot of little fixes to do, like correct the cross eyes and little mistakes all over, but I'm happy with the progress so far, especially the suit and cape. Need to decide what to do with the white area on his chest, and if anyone has any suggestions to make the electrical effect at his feet look better, I'm all ears. I think it just needs a thinner white line between the brightest.
I feel like it doesn't even look like electricity. Like, I know that they might be trying to style it as, but it currently to me looks more like a cloud sort of thing.
Yeah. I think also the sculpt doesn't help.
Yeah.
In my mind, the sword would be brighter as it would be constantly sharpened, so the patina wouldn't be there.
Perhaps you would be right on that one. Perhaps you would, but I am no longer in possession of the miniatures, so there's nothing more I can do. But yeah, I think that this is looking really good. I'm not sure what he should do there. Maybe just more black.
Nah. I thought Black Adam has that sort of lightning bolt logo in the center with that white area. That's what it is. I don't remember him having anything else.
I'm not sure on that one, but I think it's looking good. I do think the electricity needs to be improved. I like, however, the actual model itself. The model itself, I think, has come up great. When it comes to that electrical effect, I'm sorry. I don't think that I can help you with that one, but what I can say is the capes come up great. Great shading with the white. It's not real deep, but you got to remember that contrast, sorry, what's that called? Whitewashing when you take the photos?
Exposure.
Exposure is often quite bad for those. But let us move on, because I don't think that there's anything else I can comment. I really like the body, really like the cape. I think the electrical effect could be improved. I think the bricks look like bricks.
I think if he just adds a thin white line with varied line weight within the light blue sections, and then do like a bright blue contrast over it, it should help make it look a bit more like lightning.
All right. Well.
Right now we got Alex. Alex
is being very Alan at the moment.
Yes, almost done. Wow. Just some highlights on the metal and the basing to go.
Well, and Brushstroke gave it a love it, because apparently an hour ago.
Yay!
So that's the seal of approval. If Brushstrokes loves it.
Yeah, because Brushstroke now knows who Alex is. So
yes, he never loves any of my stuff. But yeah, right.
I think yes. I when I first saw this picture, not the one before, and I thought it felt like a sand Necron, you know.
Yes, sand Necron.
And I thought it was nice, actually.
I think it looks amazing.
I really love the scepter. How those blues have come up. Very lovely. I really don't know what else I would say about. I don't know if he wants to add more, like color in the dots along the arm tassel with more blue.
No, I don't think so. I think like that's sort of where it's powered and the rest of it's meant to be, decorative sort of thing.
Is it?
I've got no idea, but it feels right to me, the amount of blue that's on it at the moment.
Yeah, I guess it would be
color rather than as a competing color.
Yeah, it will be overpowering, I think, if he adds more there. Yeah. I think that's all I can say.
Yeah, I think everything I see here. So also, guys, like, take a look at the way he uses the blocks of color. So you got this big lot of blue here, right? But then you got the sand in the middle. You got the black. Everything is broken up perfectly, right? Everything has a good break between it. Those mechanical bits with how they're black. All of those things. Fantastic.
And this is what we talk about when we say you can use neutrals
Yeah, that's
to
exactly
break
what I
up
was
a
thinking.
model.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let us move on to Thomas.
Tomas has been putting in some
Oh
work.
man, I love this mini. Inspired by a recent video about color theory, I made an experiment with shading blue with purple.
Yeah.
Effect seems to be quite effective to say. Indeed, look at him. He's so blue. I love blue. Blue is my favorite color.
Yeah, but also look at how you sort of
shaded with
the cape
with a little bit of purple. Oh,
yeah,
look how
nice.
This is so good. Oh my god. Yeah, but
so
this
beautiful.
So this is the analogous. Is this the analogous technique that we talked about?
Yep. But we talked about it elsewhere before we talked about it in that video, but you go.
So the analogous technique is really great for creating these types of vibrant what is the word I'm looking? Dynamic color shading. Okay, and this is how you create sort of that dynamic. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. It's like I'll talk something about shading. Okay, something about shading. This is how you make dynamic shading. I'm repeating myself, but
I think you're talking about the strong color contrast.
Yeah.
So that when it comes to your shadows, they're not just a change in value, but also a change in color.
And it just feels more
realistic.
Not saying yes, it feels more lively.
It does feel more lively.
I would say that's the term.
It pops off quite a bit more.
It looks a lot like that. Is it a librarian that we see the GW one where he looks really blue like this? Do you remember the librarian?
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah, it looks something like that. But anyhow, perhaps we should move along.
I think we should move along.
Fantastic job, Tomas.
Next up,
Jose.
We have the goat.
My war goats are coming along. I'm still doing the base coat for the bronze. It will get a green inlay. I think he meant to say but. But we'll get a green inlay.
Nice. Well, I think they're looking good. You know, there's not much I can say.
Very chunky goats of war.
But I really like the shading. That brown that goes to
that tan color is very beautiful.
Yeah, but it's almost like a grey. It looks very realistic. It looks like a standard goat pattern. But let us move on.
We got Andy.
Andy always has the most interesting miniatures.
More Moonstone this evening. Vicious Sid, the armored goblin, is pretty much done, and I've made a start on Peggy from the black powder box. Need to pick a hair color. I'm thinking blonde for Peggy, but pleased with how it's going so far.
When I hear the Peggy bit,
it's the lady.
All I can think of is where it says on the films, Peggy 18.
Oh, I was thinking of Miss Piggy.
Oh.
Actually.
But yeah, you know what? You could also leave her hair be grey.
Yeah, it's not actually that bad.
It looks quite nice.
Blonde would also look nice on her, yes. Very nice gobbo with the green and the purple.
Yes, classic color combination.
And I really like the steel. It's very well done. Very smooth. Very smoothy. Pirate chick looks really good as well. Very pirating. Very pirating. I kind of like the gray. I feel like it's more on theme for her, but it's up to you.
And I realized that I did not give Andy a love.
Yeah, he only got 4 likes. I give a love as well.
He's been abandoned.
Oh.
Poor Andy.
Poor Andy.
Alright, speaking about people who are poor, it's I think our last
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's our last one.
It seems that way. Yeah, Lance. So here's what I was working on while scratching my head on how to paint the Skeksis.
Skeksis? I'll Skeksis you, son.
Made some progress on it today, and will show where it's at tomorrow. Be well all. I shall be well.
All.
All.
All of us.
Yes.
Shall be well. But yeah, no, very classic color tone. You love doing this, the tan underbelly.
Yeah, dude, what is this thing?
Looks like a man. A lizard man. A man made of lizard?
Proxy Gore?
No, I think it's just meant to be a lizard man,
Oh,
a
I
D&D
see.
lizard man,
Oh.
but a very big lizard man.
I quite like it. Is he got purple tips on the hair? What is going on there?
I think so, and I think he's got a purplish bluish tongue.
I like the color choice, but I really feel that if he went for like an orange tip with the hair, it'll bring that warmth in terms of color, temperature, contrast a bit more against like the green and the purples.
I agree. Well, I think that's it. I think we're done.
Ooh, it is Ellen.
It's Alan.
He said yo, etc.
Yokes.
Bye, etc. Blah, blah, blah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it for us. So, we wish to wish all of you a absolutely fantastic weekend, and we hope that you have a great week after that. But most importantly, a fantastic weekend, because it's time for you to keep those brushes wet.